Hello everyone, welcome to the video. Today we are going to be ranking the characters in Resident Evil Reverse. I guess we don't need to do a whole lot of explaining or introduction, so let's just get into it. So the first on the list is Ada, and without a doubt, Ada is S tier. If you get really good at shooting the crossbow, like you can snipe people from across the map. She has upgrades so that you can shoot two crossbow bolts, which is overpowered because then you don't even need to aim that precisely. You can upgrade the damage. You can make it so that the bolts knock people back so that it stuns them, so that even if you have to reload, you have enough time to shoot them again. Or if you have the two bolts, it's really easy to just shoot them like in the chest and then knock them down and then shoot them again and kill them. The pipe bomb is pretty good. You basically have like a grenade that you can launch an infinite amount of distance. The somersault kick, I feel like doesn't have a whole lot of range, but you can use it in a pinch and you can get an upgrade to where after you use a somersault kick, the reticle stays completely focused and it makes it easier to shoot the crossbow and do full damage with it. So yeah, pretty good character. Next we got Chris Redfield. I'm not sure how I feel about him. Each time that I've used him, he just seems like a very whatever character. I've seen people use him pretty well where they use the indomitable spirit to avoid taking lethal damage right when they see it coming. I've never been able to use it well, but I can see how it could be kind of OP. But I don't know, I'm just not feeling him, so I'm gonna put him in C tier for now at least. We'll see what happens when I put all the other characters on the list. Claire Redfield. She's either S or A because she can get really OP with upgrades. She has that ability where if you dodge, she reloads the quick draw army instantly. So you can unload it, dodge, unload it, and then use the adrenaline shot to get your stamina back, and then unload the quick draw army 2 more times. The modified alternator is pretty useful for stunning enemies. You can get upgrades to where the adrenaline shot makes you temporarily invulnerable, and it kicks in right when you use it, not when the animation finishes, but right when you press the button. So you could use it kind of like Chris's indomitable spirit to avoid taking lethal damage, except from what I remember, her adrenaline shot can the cooldown is a lot less than Chris's indomitable spirit. So and the duration is a lot less, but I feel like the fact that you can use it multiple times makes it a little bit more useful, because once the indomitable spirit is over, you're left pretty vulnerable because you still take damage. That's the thing. You still take damage while you're using it, but you just can't die. The adrenaline shot, you not only don't take any damage, but you actually recover a little bit of health. So pretty OP. Oh, and then you can upgrade the quick draw army so it does more damage and has 9 rounds and fires like a fucking machine gun. So I think I'm gonna put her in S tier next to Ada. As I go, I might kind of separate the list out so that there's not too many characters on one tier. But next we got Hunk. Hunk is kind of good. The cloaking can be pretty useful, especially if you upgrade it. You can be pretty close to enemies and not be visible at all, and then monsters can't track you. The assassinate is kind of whatever. It's kind of like the standard melee attack of characters. It's kind of the same as Chris's exoskeleton arm. Yeah, I don't know. He's just kind of a whatever character to me. If you can pull off getting kills with the assassinate while you're cloaked and make it last longer, I feel like that would make his ability more useful, but it's not like you can instantly kill somebody with the assassinate unless they're already had their health knocked down. So it's not super useful. I think he's better than Chris though, so I'm gonna put him in B and see how I feel about that later. Jill. Jill is pretty okay. I noticed that the ammo for her rifle is like you only have an extra mag or something like that. It's really low. I don't know what the deal is with that. So she has very little ammo, but the landmines can be useful. But the thing is, enemies have to be they have to step right on it in order for it to trigger. So it's very easy to walk around even when you think that you're close enough to trigger it, like it doesn't go off. And shooting it to make it go off is surprisingly the same way. Like it has such a small hitbox. That's what I'm trying to say. Either for enemies stepping on it or for you trying to shoot it. Like it's very narrow, and so it's pretty rare when it actually works. But if they go off, they can be useful because they stun enemies. And I've seen players kind of run in a circle and lay down mines and then kind of force the enemies, or the monsters at least, because they have to chase down the humans with melee attacks. They set mines like in a circle and force them to run in a circle and try to get them to run over the mines, and they'll just keep going back and forth until they can get them to set off. So it's a pretty cool strategy, but it's tricky to pull off because of that narrow hitbox. The hot knife is kind of whatever. It's super short range, so it's really easy to not hit. When she dodges, it turns into the lunge thing, which is better, but it's still kind of hard to use. At least, in my opinion. Is she better than Hunk though? I kind of feel like she is. My gut is telling me that she is for some reason. Actually, I want to move Chris down and Hunk down and put Jill in B. Leon. He has a shotgun, which is cool. But you can't kill enemies with one shot, even at point blank with a headshot. So you have to combo it with the roundhouse kick, which, by the way, the kick that he does in the game is not a roundhouse kick. It's actually a windmill kick. His dual wield ability is pretty cool. I kind of wish it did more damage though. The roundhouse kick is pretty cool. The shotgun, if you're close, it's useful. The dual wield can possibly cover the range that the shotgun can't. Or if you can maybe switch to the pistol, but I feel like switching back and forth between the shotgun and pistol is annoying. And if you go around a corner and see an enemy that you weren't expecting, it's really awkward to try to switch back to the shotgun. Overall, I think he is a good, solid character, though. Kind of similar to Jill. So I think I'm actually going to put him in B tier as well. Next, we got Lobo. Lobo's pretty badass. The unload ability is pretty OP. If you have enough distance and a clear shot between you and an enemy, that's when the unload really shines, because you can just unload a shower of bullets that are all accurate. And then the shoulder bash is really useful for meleeing opponents or getting away, or like running toward, if you're both running towards a virus capsule, you can do the shoulder bash, which will make them run faster. And if they get there before you do, then you'll hit them, and if or you'll just get there first and get the virus capsule first. And then the machine gun, the light machine gun that he has 100 rounds, so you never need to reload it, which is a huge plus. So I think he's a really good character. I think he goes in A tier. Okay, next we have Night Howl. Night Howl can be cool. I feel like the way that you have to use Night Howl is in a very passive way, where you kind of run around and use the drone to do a lot of damage for you, while the enemies kind of just chase you around. And then you can use the thing that he sets down to slow people down. You can use that to slow people down. If you're getting chased by monsters, you can just use the drone to kind of shoot them for you and keep setting the things down to slow them down. Or if you're fighting against other humans, you can kind of set it down and create like a little base, a little perimeter, and have you and your drone shoot them while they're being slowed down. Or you can use it to stun them. Like once you walk into the diameter of the thing, it stuns humans, and if you walk out of it and then walk back in, it still stuns you. So if you get in a shootout with somebody and they're close enough, you can just set the thing down, assuming that you're not wide open, and actually stun them, which might buy you enough time to kill them. So can be pretty good. I feel like I haven't had that much success with him though. I just don't feel like his abilities are as good as some of the other characters. So I think he goes with in B with Leon and Jill. He's a usable character, but could be better. Next we have Tundra. Tundra can be good. The virus capsules decoys can be really good if you know how to use them. If you like set up a perimeter where if you set a bunch of them in places to where people can't avoid running into them, you can shoot them. So even if they don't walk near enough to trigger it, then you can still hit them with splash damage by shooting them. Or you can use it kind of like landmines. A lot of people, when they're getting chased by monsters, will leave a virus capsule decoy and run off, and the monster comes chasing right behind them, and they because they're following the exact path that Tundra's running along, they happen to trigger the virus capsule decoy, and it stuns them, and it's pretty useful. Or you can just shoot it, and it's even better if, like I said, you set up like 2 around the door and they trigger both. Or you can just kind of leave them in random places and kind of forget about them, and then a player might want to pick it up, and there's a chance you might kill them. The Killer Bee shot could be good if you're precise enough to pull it off. It's kind of like Ada's crossbow in the sense that you just need to be really good at shooting to be able to land both hits quickly. But my complaints about it are I don't think it does enough damage for what it is, and the second shot takes too long to reload. If you wanted to kill somebody with 2 shots, then you could just use Ada and use her regular weapon instead of having to use an ability to be able to do that, and it's a lot faster. She's a usable character, but could be better, I guess. I think she also goes in B tier. And then we have Umber Eyes, who's really good, actually. The thermal goggles makes you see everybody on the map through walls, which is pretty OP. You can apply that in lots of ways, either to hunt people down or to get away from people. If you're looking for supplies, you can put on the goggles and see if there's anybody nearby, and if there isn't, then you know it's safe to collect the supplies and then go back and find enemies once you've stocked up. The flashbang is really useful. He throws it pretty quickly. It has a pretty good amount of range. It stuns enemies. You have to be careful not to let them get too close though, because it does take a second for it to the flashbang to come out, so they might be able to hit you while you're hitting them with the flashbang. And then the sniper is pretty good. It doesn't require as much precision as Ada's crossbow because you have 6 rounds, so you have a lot of chances to miss, but you still need to be precise, and I don't think it does as much damage as the crossbow, but it's pretty good. You can shoot people from very long distances, which is something that only Umber Eyes and Ada can do well, except for maybe Lobo with the unload, but it's not like sniping. It's just showering with bullets, and then eventually you attrite them for a while, and eventually you'll kill them where it's not like a precisely like a pat pat and they're dead. Um, but he's really good. I like him. I think I think he's an A tier character. His abilities are really good. His weapon is really good. Now, let me take a look at my list and see if I need to make any changes to this. I'm happy with Ada and Clara being an S. I'm happy with Lobo and Umber Eyes being an A. Um, Leon, Jill, and B. Tundra and Night Howl and B. I don't know. I think this is pretty much the way that it should be. I think that the B tier characters have more useful abilities than Hunk and Chris. Yeah, I think the list is done. This is the way that it should be. Which I guess makes sense. It kind of has a bell shape, a bell curve shape. So it makes sense that the okay characters are the majority, and then some are really good, and then some are really bad. So now I have a little bit of an idea. What if I have never looked at any kind of videos uh, talking about the strategies of how to use the characters and builds and stuff like that. So I have no idea what other people's tier lists look like. So I actually think I want to see if I can find some tier list videos and react to them and compare them to my list. So I'm going to do that next.